My name is David Leavitt. I'm the Chief Technology Officer for the company. Frosty Tech puts people first. It's a company that looks to re-engineer existing products and technologies that don't really promote quality of life in the environment, to re-engineer them so that they can accomplish a good or better purpose without compromising quality of human life or degrading the environment. So that's our real focus. More than just seizing every opportunity that's out there, we filter it through a lens that focuses on re-engineering products and processes that have had a deleterious effect in the environment into a way that their primary use is good, they're cost effective, so that people will want to use them, but yet they have a secondary use that in some cases could be better than the primary use, and certainly won't degrade the environment or have a negative effect upon people in their lives. So if you're thinking in terms of a business model, we would be described as a technology capture company that bases its revenue upon royalty and licensing. Our basic company is like an intellectual property hub. We bring in all the IP, we capture it, and then when we seize those opportunities, we prepare an IP fortress around them, and then we license them out to third parties. So, one of the hats I wear is that of a technology scout. I collaborate with universities that I think fulfill a mutual opportunity and match up our needs and market applications with technologies that are a good fit. I still play the role as the company's chemist, and I would say a mentor to a lot of the young engineers and technologists that we have working for us now. The third hat that I wear has to do with helping the company visualize their mission, purpose, and vision for the future so that we can all see the benefit and scope on how we can make the world a better place. Well, I'm not a young guy anymore, so I don't know how to encompass 55 years of working in a few statements, but I started working when I was 10, back in a different world than we have now. But professionally, I started working as a chemist, a formulating chemist for a company in Kansas City. Went back to school to get an engineering degree, became a chemical engineer for Farmland Corporation. And then I worked for some of the largest companies in the world as a chemical engineer, including Allied Signal, Honeywell, and General Motors. Went on from being an engineer. My company sent me to law school to be a patent attorney. After that, I chose a completely different career path. And I went to work for the state of Oklahoma as a business development guy, and I transferred technologies out of the universities into the private sector. And I had 150 startup companies that I kind of shepherded along. After that, I had an opportunity for one of my client companies, this was Delphi Corporation of General Motors, to spend 4 years in Asia as their business development guy. And when that came to an end is when I went on to be an entrepreneur and started up a number of my own companies. Leaving my career in the private sector, for a number of reasons, I decided that I wanted to work for government, and I went to work for government now. So you can see I've gone the whole spectrum from delivering newspapers as a 10-year-old to working for big corporations, for small startups, and now for state government. So, I'm just all over the place, I guess. It's been a good background for what I do now. So I worked for state government first as an attorney for the Oklahoma Department of Agriculture, Food, and Forestry. A lot of it was environmental work, prosecuting companies that violated the state's environmental laws related to how they control waste and pollution. From there, I went on to be a director of the Department of Agriculture, Food, and Forestry for Oklahoma for a while. That was a good experience. When the time came for me to be appointed a judge, I took that opportunity and I became a technical judge for the state of Oklahoma. My primary roles there were protecting human health and the environment. That was kind of the capstone of my career, in that it allowed me to use all those experiences I had before as a lawyer and an engineer and an environmentalist and use them to serve the public good. Well, my job started out as being a consultant chemist. John Brigida, the founder of the company. I think we were the first two people in the company at the time. He had a great concept, but he needed someone with a background in chemistry to help him actualize it. But since then, I've wore many hats in the evolution of the company as the company has grown and developed and expanded the scope of the different products and processes that they want to offer to the world. My role has expanded too. Well, we're going to grow. We have a new company structure. It's a great company structure. It has an upstairs vision for the overall company and a downstairs focus for the different segments that we're in, all of which fulfill a good need to enhance the quality of environment, to bring solutions to problems that are here today and are going to be here tomorrow and need to be addressed. In terms of my role, though, I'm probably the oldest guy in the company. So one of the roles that I have is to find people who I can hand the baton off to and see the company grow beyond me. So that's important for me. And I'm very happy and focused to do that because the company is going to grow way beyond where we are now. I can see it by its structure, by its focus, by the people I work with, and by the opportunities that we've already identified. You know, I don't think about my particular accomplishments as being things I'm that proud of. I think I'm proud of the team that's been put together, that works together effectively, that, communicates effectively, that cares about each other. I mean, I'm proud of the company. There are many technologies I could say I'm being proud of, but really, to be quite honest, at where I am today, all of the ideas and accomplishments that occur really aren't my doing. A lot of ideas that we have are intuitive. I think they're creative. I have no idea how they're generated. They just occur. It's not like I created them. So I can't really take pride in that. Just like I can't take pride in the fact that I'm highly educated, or I can't take pride in the fact that I was fortunate to grow up in a good, nurturing home. I mean, these are not things to take pride in. If I want to be prideful or happy or grateful, it's because somehow we put together a collection of almost like a band of brothers and sisters who work together and look out for each other's own welfare as well as the welfare of the company. So, yeah, I know we have a lot of patents and stuff, but the most important thing is the team, I think, and how we work together. I love the outdoors. I'm an outdoorsman. I like to hunt and fish, especially fly fish, although I'll go after bass too if I have to. But mainly, I like hiking, hunting, fishing, being outside. I sometimes look back on my career, and yes, it was a career as an environmentalist, but I didn't spend enough time outside. I should have spent more time outside and less time in the laboratory looking at it, but that's just how things play out. So now, every chance I get, I'm at my cabin in Colorado, or I'm out fishing near my new home in Kansas, or hiking the trails with my family and friends. That's what I like to do. Gardening too, but I don't like to weed. So if I have someone who can do the weeding, I love planting. Planting is the big thing. Weeding, not so much. So those are my hobbies, really. Well, I think I don't know if pride is a word, but one of the things I'm most grateful for was the birth of my children. They came early. We didn't know whether they were going to live or die. The first 2 months were tough, but that's probably, if I could say that I accomplished something, I accomplished a small role in bringing my children into the world because they are so great, and they have much more to offer the world than I have, and I'm happy for that. So that would, I guess, be the high point. I've been married almost 40 years, but that's an accomplishment more in my wife's realm and that she's put up with me. She's done all the hard work there. It's not something I've done, so I can't take pride in that. Well, I guess there's two books that are on my list right now. One is a book called The Wizard and the Prophet. And this is a must-read for any environmentalist because it tells a tale of two different philosophies for making the world a better place. One philosophy has to do with reducing a person's demand upon the environment. That's the prophet philosophy. The other is the wizard, and I think I'm more of a wizard. And the wizard philosophy is technology implemented will solve all the problems that humanity meets. Man, I haven't watched a movie in a long time. I just haven't had much time for it. But there is one movie I watched years ago, I don't know if people know of it, called The Mission. But it inspired me in so many ways about how you have to choose how you live your life. People come from all walks of life. Many times we do good things, lots of times we do bad things. But like in The Mission, there's always a chance for redemption and a second life if you choose it. So that was an important movie to me. It made an impression upon me. I don't even think it's around anymore, but I remembered it.
So I got connected to David at a similar time I was connected with Steve right as I was finishing up my MBA. And David's unique background, going all the way back to his early days with farmland, to working with patents he has for treating spent nuclear waste. All these things built up to where David had a really unique skill set, and the creativity combined with that to be like, wow, if I mesh these things together, we could really unlock and do some really neat things. So it was perfect timing of his experience and background with some outside of the box thinking.
David, oh gosh, I love David. Everyone loves David. Anyway, yeah, David is when I first met him, David, I knew that he was a bona fide genius. He's one of the nicest guys in the world you'll ever meet. I don't know what that computer is in his head, but he's got everything in there. I hope we save him for science. I love David.
David, by far, is the most intelligent person I've ever met in my life. He's so incredibly humble, despite his tremendous experience and wealth of knowledge.
David is kind of like the typical scientist. He's creative, he's curious, and he's got boundless experience and a lot of stories to tell. So he's just fun to absorb just the knowledge from him as well.
David is a genius. He's very approachable, and he's down to earth. I mean, a lot of people in David's situation would have their heads high in the clouds, but he really is a relatable person, and I think that's an incredible asset for us.
David is a genius. What else do you want me to say?